Right. Or his judging.
So,
Yeah.
now, do you think they're going to come back and do the right thing?
No.
No, they're not.
Did you set up
So-
a court of record?
Pardon?
Did you set up a court of record in what you filed?
Yes, it's in a court of record. It absolutely is.
In other words, according to common law, you know who Bill Thornton is?
According to the definition of the California Constitution.
Well, that you can do. That you can do. But here's the thing that I have, and I have battled, and my good friend and pastor, Richard Fry, has said to me for the last 5 years, where's the enforcement?
Yeah.
We can set up the court, we can do all the things properly, and then who do we go to get it enforced?
IRS.
Really, IRS.
That's what we. IRS is our enforcement arm in this country.
Tim Turner.
Well, I hope you're right on that. I have not seen that happen yet.
We're learning how to do that because
Yeah.
they've got the muscle.
Yeah, I've not seen that happen yet.
We have.
And remember, IRS is not a government agency.
That's why we rely on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, sir.
Tim Turner just filed a $52 billion maritime lien against the judges in Houston County, Alabama, and they retired early. He went against them individually and severally in their private commercial bonds and has it. And that's the first step in taking this.
And it's all over the internet right now, in normal, regular papers, not underground papers. All over the internet. You can check it out.
Wolf Blitzer has been giving some treatment to this and is pretty even-handed as far as he can go. Without slamming.
Yeah. Well, believe me, I hope all that's successful. Anything to get us back to a de jure government, I hope is successful. Although I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, as the Lord knows, when I went into the service and served this country, I did it because I believed at the time I was defending the freedom I should have today and don't. Okay, so let's talk about foreclosures. Write this down because I didn't bring any of my, in fact, we can probably shut this off. I didn't bring any of my overheads for foreclosures, but it's okay because I've got a lot of it right up here. You don't need to worry about it, but you're just going to have to write now, and I'll go back over it. First thing you want to remember is that the Federal Reserve Board and the Federal Reserve banks, and they are banks, are operating. Oh, you know what? I did bring something. I know I did. No, I did. It's not exactly what I wanted to, or should have, but, oh, yeah. Okay, I wrote a little thing called 1099 OID in a nutshell. I don't know if you've researched, how many people have a copy of the Internal Revenue Code?
It's online.
Ah, you got it in CDs?
It's on FindLaw.
Is it searchable?
Yeah.
It is.
Larry B. Krebs has to search it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I have it on these CDs I'm giving away as a PDF file where I've highlighted it for 1099 OIDs because I researched the whole thing. And I also have it as a text file in case you don't have Adobe Reader 7 or greater. Because if you have 7 or greater, you can search a PDF file. Okay, so anyway, in this is some very important information. So,
Are you a proponent and a user of the 1099 OID refund?
Yes, as a matter of fact. And how many people have gotten a frivolous filing notice? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the fee they charged you? Starting at what year?
Every year I
Okay, well, they can't do that.
5, 6, and 7.
They just changed it recently. It used to be $500. 5702.
Okay, well, recent is a relative term. I'm sorry, what's your name?
Frederick Fox.
Frederick. Dan, nice to meet you. All right, you're a paralegal. All right. Okay. Okay, so, all right, here's the deal. The law got changed in December 2006. If you want a copy of it, I'll send it to you. And what it said is it said that the secretary is going to make a list of what a frivolous filing is. And that's when it becomes effective. So anything prior to December 2006, the fine can only be $500. Okay. You don't have to take my word for it. Call Tommy Cryer. Everybody know Tommy Cryer?
Yeah.
He's a great attorney when it comes to taxes. Very good, very knowledgeable man. And he will tell you what I'm telling you right now. That it's $500. So anything prior to 2007, it's $500. Now, I've got a little response for frivolous filing, and I think, didn't I send that to you, Diane? Don't you have that? Okay, Diane's got a copy of it. She can tell you whether the letter's any good or not, all right? I've got I take it all the way back to the statute. Look, when I write something, I take everything back to the legislative act. Yes, sir.
Is that $500 good for the tax return year or for the date it's applied? Because I amended my 2005, 6, and 7.
It's $500 unless they produce the list the secretary made that shows that you are liable, or that return was frivolous. So it only becomes $5,000 when it shows up on his list.
Most people are getting warning letters that saying, if you are frivolous, we may assess you $5,000. Not everybody gets a $5,000 bill.
Well, then you don't need to send this letter. If it's just a warning, you know.
Most people are
I
getting
mean,
warnings.
that's like, don't cross that carpet, okay? You know, so
Yeah,
what?
but if-
You know?
But if you acquiesce to that letter, if you don't answer it, then you're accepting.
If you wait, don't
Well-
answer it, you're in agreement.
Right, exactly.
You have to, okay, look, you have to, and I'm glad you brought that up. John, right?
Yeah.
John, okay. I'm glad John brought this up because, look, everybody here needs to get a hold of the Administrative Procedures Act, the Legislative Act, because we're all doing stuff administratively, but we don't even know what the Administrative Procedures Act says. Anybody heard of a collection due process hearing?
Oh, yeah.
How many of you actually had one? You have. You actually got to sit down and somebody was on the other side of the table. Okay, that's good. You get a determination letter after that. Remember that? Okay. Do you know what? Under the Administrative Procedures Act, you can go to a judge to have review of that to see if they complied with everything. But you don't enforce it because you don't know it. If you use their stuff against them, they are not going to win. Okay, so I don't want to get too far off track. Let's go on to foreclosures. Everybody knows that Federal Reserve notes are forced fiat currency, right? Okay. Forced fiat currency just means that the government declared that that's what's going to be used for both public and private debt and to pay taxes. You're going to want to write this down and get a copy of this. If you don't have it, I'll send it to you. It's Stat 13, Stat 99. There's about, I'm going to say, if I remember right, there's about 45 sections in there. This is the banking statute. This statute has not been overturned, and the banks are still operating under this statute.
That's 1865.
Pardon? 13 Stat 99.
That's about 1865.
Right, exactly. A lot of stuff happened right after the Civil War, and it wasn't good. Just like a lot of stuff happened after every war, and it wasn't good. 13 Stat 99 says a bank, and this means Federal Reserve Bank, cannot hold a note. The only thing a bank can do is sell and purchase your promissory note. Yes, you had a question. Did you have your hand up back there? No. The only...
You said sell and purchase.
They can only buy it and sell it. Yes, they cannot hold it.
Okay, well,
Okay, so, yes, go ahead.
where does credit come involved in that if banks deal with just credit?
Well, I'm going to get to that because we haven't left stat 1399.
Okay.
And, gosh, I'm already 10 minutes over.